What's up, everybody? Todd here with your STB Gorilla Gang Daily Disruption, coming at you this Sunday evening. Beautiful here in Nebraska till it snows again. Hopefully it doesn't. Hopefully it's done. I don't really look too far ahead. So today we're going to talk about dealing with injuries. So as far as I can think back, I've dealt with injuries, right? So being an athlete, growing up with four brothers, I've dealt with a lot of injuries. So from the first time I can remember, I think it was like 3 years old, tripped on something, hit the fireplace, got a little scar here, ended up with stitches. So, but yeah, till it snows again, Roman. Good to see you, brother. So I got stitches at a pretty young age. I think I had stitches, I believe, like 25 times before I turned 18. So I spent a lot of time in the emergency room. They knew me by name. But that was just kind of the nature of the beast when you're active, exploring, young male, and with four brothers that would tempt you to do crazy stuff. And so so I've dealt with injuries my whole life. So when it comes to sports or when it comes to training, some worse than others, right? So the first one I can remember is I went up for a layup in 7th grade, came down on the side of my foot and broke a bone, and I was out for like 7 weeks. And so, I really loved basketball at the time. We had a really good team. In fact, my junior high team ended up winning our little Lutheran state tournament that year without me, which was really tough because I was like a starter on that team, but I broke my foot, right? But like, there's always some blessings in that. Like, I started 4th grade. I started 7th grade at 4'10" and about 75 pounds. No kidding. I was like the smallest kid in our class. Even the kid we called Spud was bigger than me at the time. And so it broke my foot, and no kidding, grew 7 inches in 7 weeks. Like, literally, my pants were high waters. Like, I had to find some of my brother's old pants and wear because like none of mine fit. So there's always some, good things in some of those injuries, right? So that was the first one. Really in high school, didn't struggle too much. Rolled an ankle pretty bad one time. Otherwise, just some strains and stuff like that. But when I got to college, that was a whole new level at Nebraska. And you didn't injure things, you broke things. So first, I subluxed my ankle. David Newton rolled into me, and it sounded like everything in the world broke in half. And it didn't, thank God, but it was bad. So I was out for like 2 weeks, and I was a walk-on. So like being out meant like I couldn't prove that I was, that I could earn a scholarship, right? So did everything I could to rehab and get back. But again, in that time, gave me some time to refocus and get better mentally on the mental side of it. And then right before, like, I think it was 2 weeks into spring football in 95, just honestly don't know what happened. Got hit from behind, popped my shoulder out, and I hit the turf, and it popped back in, and it felt like somebody took a hot coal and stuck it in my right shoulder. And that was not fun. And it was spring, and I was a 4-string I-back in Nebraska, so I'm like, I'm going to get a lot of playing time in the spring game. So, man, they strapped it up, and I got a cortisone shot or 3 or 4. I don't know. Back then they did it all the time. I probably shouldn't be saying that on camera, but got it shot up, got it wrapped up, and I finished. And if any of you saw my post yesterday, it was crazy that they played. That was actually 2 weeks later after that injury. I ended up running an 89-yard touchdown run for in the spring game, which ended up being the longest run in spring game history until Bobby Newcomb beat it in either 98 or 99. But that also solidified my scholarship. So I came back in the fall on scholarship of 95. So, if I would have just played hurt or would have just stuck at being hurt and not being able to play through that pain, I probably wouldn't have solidified my scholarship for 95, which was pretty cool. So sometimes you got to deal with the pain, right? Unfortunately, coming back on scholarship in 95, I totally destroyed my shoulder in 2 days. I tried to play through it through the Michigan State game and then had surgery, and that was pretty much career ending. A lot of other things went into my career ending besides that injury, like my grades and all those good things. And I had a baby on the way and all those things. So I left the team after the 95 season and started my family, and here I am 24 plus years later. And so just talking about injuries, like right now I'm dealing with, like, I pulled a glute, I pulled a hamstring, my shoulder's kind of like, this is the first time since my surgery that this shoulder's really given me any kind of problems. But, you know, it's given me time to kind of refocus on what is really important. And I mean, you know, do I really need to bench 500 pounds? I don't need to, but that's like a goal, right? So, but we're kind of refocusing what's really important in my life. And sometimes that's what injuries do, right? Here's the thing I will say, like, this injury, like, I've been injured for 3 straight weeks and I haven't missed a day on the bike, right? Like, find something you can do with the other parts of your body that doesn't hurt, right? So, you know, if you hurt an ankle, do something upper body. If you hurt upper body, do something lower body, right? So, what I will say is injuries never stop me, right? And I don't want them to stop you. And I want you to, you know, use them as opportunities. You just never know what's going to come out of an injury. Like I said, like, I grew 7 inches in 7 weeks. It was the best thing that happened to me by breaking that little bone in my foot. Only 2 bones in my family have ever been broken. Tyrone, my youngest brother, broke his hand on Tommy's head, which was against the rules in our family. You cannot hit in the face. That was a rule for a long time until Tyrone broke it and broke his hand. That was one broken bone, and the other one is my foot. It's all the football we played, like, all my brothers played college football except for Tommy. We played every sport. We did everything, and only 2 broken bones in the family. So pretty crazy. Thanks, Mom and Dad, for the genetics. Appreciate it that we have very strong bone density. So that's what I got for you guys tonight. Injuries are going to happen. It's part of life, especially if you're training or working out or walking down the street, man. Like, you know, I remember training for one of my triathlons, and Trent was pretty little, and he's riding his bike next to me, but he still had training wheels. So he's pretty young. I mean, he didn't have training wheels until I think they were off by 5. He's riding around the lake with me, and I stepped off the edge and bam, rolled my ankle. And, you know, you just never know. Like, you're going to get hurt. And any of you guys out there that have trained for any amount of time know, like, injuries are part of it. All I want to say is, like, don't let it stop you. Let it help you refocus and re-energize and get back after it. So that's all I have for you guys tonight. Have a great rest of your evening. Have a great week. Hopefully you're prepared. Make sure you have your meal plan ready. You know when you're going to be working out. Get your 20 minutes in every day. If you want more accountability, you know who to call. I can hold you accountable and whip your ass into shape. So we will talk to y'all later. Much love. Peace out.